unknown. Like this man, God is going to ask you to do things that you don't think you can do. In your own ability, you can't. But when you take that step of faith, God will step in and give you supernatural ability. But sometimes we've been a certain way so long, we've convinced ourselves of what we can't do. I can't run my department. I don't have the talent. I can't break this addiction. I've had it since high school. I can't get the Compact Center. I've only been ministering for 2 years. God doesn't ask you and then not give you what you need. The question is, are you going to stay comfortable where it's safe, or are you going to step into your calling? Now, I'm not saying this is easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. This takes boldness. This takes a made-up mind that says, I am not going to let fear, insecurity, what I don't think I can do, keep me in my limited environment. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to take risk. I may have to hurt some feelings, but I'm going to make changes to follow the call. Not going to sit around in dysfunction, surrounded by dysfunctional friends. I'm going to rise and walk. Your destiny is too great. Your assignment too important to let fear, what will people think, and what if it doesn't work out, to hold you back. If you know how everything is going to work out, you don't need faith. If you can accomplish your dreams in your own ability, then your dreams are too small. That may be a stepping stone, but God will put dreams in your heart where you don't have the finances, the connections, the experience. If He doesn't show up, then it won't happen. And you'll be tempted to think like the lame man. I can't walk. God, you're telling me to do something that I've never done. If you'll take that step of faith, you'll see God do something that you've never seen. You'll see doors open that you couldn't open. You'll see divine connections. People show up that want to help you. Things fall into place. That's because in your calling, there's favor. In your calling, opportunities will find you. In your calling, you'll break addictions. You'll beat the cancer. You'll defeat that depression. But in your comfort, you'll get stuck where you are. If you're always comfortable, then there'll be lack, dysfunction, mediocrity. God is saying to you, I'm calling you up higher. I'm calling you into abundance. I'm calling you into freedom. I'm calling you into new levels. Now, don't let comfort hold you back. The fear may still be there, but you have to act on your purpose, not on your fear. Fear will keep you from your destiny. Fear will keep you by the pool another year. You may feel fear, but you have to do it afraid. As you step out, courage will come. Confidence will show up. The favor, the blessing, the healing, it's waiting for you, not in your comfort, but in your calling. If you're never uncomfortable, you're not growing. If you never have to stretch your faith, you're never over your head, then you're going to be limited. God will bring opportunities across your path so you can come up to a new level. Go where you've never been. Break bondages that have been passed down in your family line. It takes courage. It takes a holy determination. You'll be tempted to play it safe. Don't rock the boat. I don't want to have to stretch. Try something new. It seems impossible. God wouldn't have given you the opportunity. He wouldn't have told you to rise and walk if you couldn't do it. Don't let comfort hold you back. Being comfortable will keep you from your potential. You were created to stretch. You were created to go further. And yes, there will be seasons where you're comfortable, seasons where you're enjoying favor and blessings, but God is not going to leave you in your comfort. He's taken you from glory to glory. You can't reach new levels of glory without being uncomfortable, without having to stretch, without believing for things that seem unlikely. Now, I've learned the calling will disrupt your comfort. There will be strategic times in your life, like this crippled man, that God will call you up higher. He'll call you to break the addiction. You were fine for a long time, but suddenly you know you have to do something. He'll call you to leave the familiar and go into the unknown. That's what happened to me. I worked 17 years behind the scenes here at Lakewood doing the television production. When my father went to be with the Lord, I knew I was supposed to step up and pastor the church, but I was comfortable behind the scenes. I didn't want to be in front of people. I wouldn't know what to say. All these fears, insecurity, intimidation were trying to hold me back. I had to make a decision. Was I going to act on my calling or stay in my comfort? There were all these loud thoughts saying, you better stay where you are. You don't have the training, the experience. You've never ministered before. It's not worth the risk. God was calling me to rise and walk. Like that crippled man, my first thought was, I can't. I've never done it. But when I got quiet, I could hear this still small voice telling me, Joel, you've got what it takes. You've been raised up for this time. This is your moment. You are well able. The enemy will always tell you what you can't do. But if you'll turn down his lies, you'll hear a still small voice telling you what you can do. You can break the addiction. You can beat the cancer. You can teach that class. You can start that business. You can pay your house off. You can rise and walk. Well, Joel, what if I try and it doesn't work out? What if you try and it does work out? What if you take that step of faith and you go to a new level? What if it thrusts you further than you've imagined? What if you discover you can do what you've never done? You can walk, you can lead, you can live free and whole. Don't let the what ifs talk you out of your destiny. Turn them around. What if God shows up and favors you? What if doors open you never dreamed would open? What if you beat the addiction after all these years? Here's the key. If you never try, you're never going to know. There are no risk in playing it safe. No risk in lying by the pool another 38 years. You already know what's going to happen. But how sad it will be to come to the end of life and never know what you could have become if you would have just dared take some risk. If you would have acted on the call and not the comfort. If you would have listened to the still small voice, the Most High God, instead of all the loud, intimidating lies of the enemy. When my father went to be with the Lord, there were other family members on staff that were ministers. My sisters, brothers-in-law, they had more experience. They were very capable, excellent ministers. They could have wanted to pastor the church. My personality type is I don't like conflict. I want everyone to be happy. I'll go out of my way to avoid even a possible confrontation. But I knew if I was going to step up and do